Good morning, happy Monday. I always try to add a ask a question or leave a comment at the end of my Google Forms that I do for these giveaways. I got a couple of really good ones that I think are also helpful for all of you to kind of hear the question and answer. So let's get into it. One of the questions is surrounding first-time home buyers and down payment assistance. There are still loans available. Time to own is the loan. Okay, anyway, sorry. The loan that Jim and I always talk about, myself and really any lender. With that, you do have to live within Connecticut for at least 3 years or more. A lot of people have, but sometimes people are coming from New York wanting to come to Connecticut and they can't really utilize that loan. So it depends. That is one of the stipulations. There are a few other things, of course, as there always is with any sort of loan, that we have to talk through. And it's really important, professional and personal opinion. It's very important to both sit down with a realtor and a lender. I would interview multiple, quite frankly. Important to sit down and talk with the professionals who are going to help you with one of the biggest, if not the biggest purchase of your life. Yeah, it's a lot. It's really stressful, but it's an amazing, amazing thing if you can do it. And a lot of people can. Your first home is not going to be your dream home. It's not going to have all the things that you need it to have necessarily or want it to have, but we can get as close as we can get within this market. So there are still down payment assistance programs, and I am always open and willing and wanting to speak with anyone who has questions about it, especially first-time home buyers. And of course, we can loop in one of my lender partners and you can ask them all the questions you want, with me present or without me present. Totally up to you. So if you need any help on that or have any questions about loans in general, please feel free to shoot me an email or a DM. Next question kind of maybe ties into the first question a little bit, two different people. But the question is, what do you feel is the future of the concept of a starter home, as home values have rapidly increased coupled with higher interest rates? Yeah, this is a great question. I could probably talk about this for a long time, but I'm going to try to keep it short. Especially within Connecticut and New York, which I'm licensed in both states, we have consistently seen, especially Connecticut, a huge increase in property pricing and price per square footage, acreage. I mean, all of it, right? We've seen it. We know what the situation is, and it's a little bit scary for first-time home buyers, especially. So I think the whole idea of a starter home used to be you can get into somewhere and fit comfortably there for 5 to 10 years, depending on how many kids you wanted to have. You could have a starter home with you and your spouse. You probably would both need you and your spouse to purchase it, but it would be at a much, much lower price. I think starter home used to be, you can get all of the things that you need and a little of the wants that you want in a home. You could be there for 5 to 10 years, depending on how many kids you want to have, how quickly, and then you move up to the next home. And that has maybe a nicer kitchen or 2-car garage or, those sorts of things. Now, when I have someone come to me with, okay, yes, this is our first home, we know we'll probably outgrow it, but this is the list of what we absolutely need or absolutely want. And the thing is, with that list, some of it is not attainable in a starter home during this period. It isn't. And I'm very, very transparent with my clients because I want to set the expectation so that you're not let down. The process in general, at some point, it's going to let us both down. It's going to let me down as your realtor because it's really tough sometimes. It's going to let you down because it's just the way that it goes. We're not, there will be offers we put in and we don't get. I'm used to that. You as a first-time home buyer aren't, and it sucks every single time it happens, quite frankly. You don't really get used to it. So, there's just certain things where you won't be able to get all of the things you really want in your starter home that you used to be able to get. And the reason for that is because it costs so much more than it used to. And yes, people will say, oh, well, people are making more. Yes, but inflation has gone up, so it's, your starter home now is not at all what it was 15 years ago. Your starter home now is not going to check off every single thing on your list unless you're moving from Connecticut with a Connecticut salary to the South. It's just not. So if you are going from renting to buying within Connecticut, if you're moving from New York to Connecticut, like whatever it is, if you have a salary under 6 figures and you're a single person, your starter home is not going to have all the things that you need. If you have 2 6-figure people going into a property, we have a better chance of getting you a starter home that is going to knock everything off your list. But even then, it might not. And the thing is that we have people coming in. Let's say you both have, there's 2 of you, you both have great jobs. You can afford a mortgage of $5,000 a month. It's a big mortgage. But it's a mortgage. We still are combating people coming in with all cash. And people are still saying yes to all cash and not even considering an offer with a mortgage attached to it. But to wrap up what I think the future or current concept really of a starter home is, it's not something that's going to have a garage and a yard and be on one floor and have all open concept or a new kitchen, or it's not going to be that for 90% of first-time home buyers. You are not going to get the starter home that you used to be able to get by any means. And it's really tough to have to set the expectation sometimes, but you have to set the expectation up front. I have to set the expectation up front for my buyers so that they understand what we're going into.